We're going.
Just go. Roll that intro.
Dude, roll it right there. What he says is just roll it right there. All right, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to Room 101. Boys, say what's up. Say what's up.
What's up,
What's
boys?
up?
Oh, yeah. Before we get started, let's roll that intro. So, yeah, like I said, welcome back, boys.
Welcome back.
Room 101. Man, it's a great day today. Great day to be alive. You already know. Y'all know the feels. Any updates, boys? Any updates before we get started?
No.
All right. Today we have
Are you good over there?
I'm just frustrated. Got something in my eye. I can't get it out, bro. It's a good day. It's a good day.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Anyways,
Today we have a special guest. She comes all the way from Kansas.
Not Kansas City.
Not
Come
Kansas
on, don't
City,
insult
but
me.
Kansas. Whoa.
Kansas.
I guess certain places in Kansas.
Somewhere in Kansas.
Somewhere
I'm from
in
Wichita,
Kansas.
Kansas.
Wichita, Kansas.
Wichita.
We have our special guest here today, Morgan Housley.
Woo! Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for
Insert
our
audience clap.
audience clap. Dang, thank
Thanks
you,
for
audience.
that.
Thank you,
Yeah,
audience.
come
Y'all are
on.
We
amazing.
appreciate you.
Y'all are amazing, man. Anyways, Morgan, introduce yourself. Go ahead. Where are you from? Actually, like, are you from Kansas?
Am I? No, actually, it's all just this big joke.
Oh, is Kansas real? Is Kansas real?
No, actually, it's not. It's all made
Arkansas
up.
is.
Oh, explain that.
Arkansas. Explain what?
Why
it's called
why
Arkansas?
Kansas is spelled? I'm kidding. Don't get into that. We don't need that. Anyway,
I could give you a little fun fact about that if you want.
Go
Oh,
for
actually,
it.
yeah.
Do
yeah,
it.
yeah,
drop-
go
drop
for it.
some
Give it
facts.
to
Okay,
us.
okay, okay.
Go for it.
So,
Go for it.
so actually, it's really interesting because there's the Arkansas River, and it's Arkansas when it's in Kansas, but when it's not in Kansas, it's the Arkansas River.
Crazy.
So you pronounce it Arkansas when it's in Kansas, but when it's outside of Kansas, it's Arkansas because you pronounce the state Arkansas.
Interesting.
That's annoying.
It's like, what's that? That's the Arkansas. What's that over there? That's the Arkansas.
Well, it just depends where you're at.
No, that's your Kansas.
That's a good one.
So what's so special about Kansas?
Well, I mean, I think the number one most special thing for me is it's just home. But like, I've found a lot of like identity in Kansas because I don't live in Kansas anymore too. I think it's like strengthened like my pride in Kansas from not living in Kansas.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So is that why you throw a party for Kansas?
Yes.
Oh my
Every
gosh.
January 29th is Kansas Day. And we actually, in elementary school, like, we grew up, like, celebrating this holiday, Kansas's birthday, January 29th. And me and my roommates, who are also from Kansas, continue to throw parties for Kansas's birthday every year on that very one day.
That's
So,
actually crazy.
yeah.
Interesting.
All your roommates are from Kansas?
3 out of the 4 of us are. There's one from Texas.
Boo.
Boo! It's not
Boo.
Kansas. Boo! I'm kidding.
No, we still love her. And she loves Kansas, too.
Interesting.
She came to Kansas with me last week.
Did you always grow up in Kansas?
Yeah, I was born in Topeka, Kansas, and then we moved to Wichita when I was like 3.
Topeka?
And then Topeka.
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 Topeka. Yeah.
Is there a drink?
And-
Is it their drink? Is that a drink?
but yeah, I'm not from Wichita. I'm from it's a
You
suburb
just named
outside of
3 different parts
Andover.
of Kansas.
So there's Topeka, there's Wichita, and then I'm from Andover, which
And
is
she's
this
from
little
Kansas
Wait,
city,
Andover or
Andover.
Handover?
Andover, like Andover.
Like and
Andover.
one? but
Like and over
instead of
and
one.
over and over. Like that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Kansas, dude.
Great place.
Kansas.
Love it. Everyone
Man.
should visit. I think it's
Wait,
awesome.
so why'd you move to Utah?
I moved here to Utah for school.
Oh, what'd you study?
I studied elementary education, and I just barely graduated. Holla.
Ooh,
Yo.
congratulations.
Class of 2023.
3. The pause.
I forgot the year for a second, Tony. Get off my back, Tony. I'm joking.
Just play.
So that was a 4-year study, right?
Yeah, ish. I mean, I went to, I started in 2017 because that's when I graduated high school, and then I took a 1.5-year break in Brazil on a mission trip,
Word.
and then came back and I just barely finished. So yeah.
Nice.
Wild.
Exciting stuff. Yeah.
Beautiful.
But I haven't taken classes in like over a year because my last year of school was like being a real teacher. So
Oh yeah. And what grade
Yeah.
do you teach?
I teach 5th grade, the
Ugh.
best grade. I love it.
The best grade.
Did you choose 5th grade?
I didn't get to choose. No, it was just assigned to me in my internship, but I love 5th grade. And I think it's a sweet spot. It's my fave.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
I couldn't. I coach high schoolers, and that's my limit.
And high schoolers are angsty.
Very.
Yeah,
Thanks.
they got something going on. Well, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us the story from your perspective on how you met us, including first impressions.
Okay. Well, I think I met you, Jay, and you, Sam, first, right? I don't even remember meeting Poe. I know I met you. No, not that, not that I don't remember, but I remember meeting them first, and then you were just always around after that, right?
That's actually that's
Right?
accurate.
That's true.
Hold on.
That's accurate.
That's
Hold on.
factual.
That's literally true. Yeah, so yeah, I actually don't really remember that much. I was like trying to think about it, and I like remember meeting you guys, but that interaction like after meeting you guys, I just like because it was me and my roommates were there, right? And then like a couple other friends were there. Jacob was there, and we like I just remember going home with my roommates, and we didn't even like talk about meeting you guys. We were just like, oh, we're awesome, we're cool. Anyone who interacts with us is lucky to be our friend.
Dude, we say the same
really
thing.
vain.
We're kind of iconic.
We say the same thing.
Wow, that's awesome. But yeah, I feel like maybe I was like a little intimidated by you guys. Like at the like, don't look at me like that.
Well, I'm just.
I don't
Are we
know.
intimidating?
What's intimidating?
Not intimidated.
Yeah.
I don't know
What's
if intimidated is the
intimidating?
right word, but it's just like, I don't know. I just remember being like, I don't know if like me and my roommates would vibe with these people, but we're really cool. But you guys
How
are
the
cool
tables
too.
have turned.
Wow. We
Now
low-key
look
said the
crazy.
same thing about everybody else in the FHE group. After
That's
we
so
tried.
funny.
Yeah, we're like,
Oh.
we left, and I was like, bro, I don't know if I want to go to this war.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Are
I
you
No, yeah,
serious?
I'm legit.
Not that it was
Not
that bad, but
not
it
because
was.
of you. It was just
It was
because
just
of.
like,
This is new.
It's
Yeah.
It's like 'cause
Different.
you know us now. Like, we're goofy, and so
we're beyond
we-
quirky.
Obnoxious.
it takes a certain type of person to really vibe with us, and I don't know. That's why we stick to each other, because we don't. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
We know our vibe. We
Yeah.
know our vibe.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was weird. So that's how we met. Was FHE.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, hey, that makes sense.
For
So I was
those
like,
of
is it
you
too?
who don't know what that is, family home evening. We just yeah, it's just a group. We get together and do fun things together.
I don't know where you were, but we
Associated with our
went. It
church.
was just meeting at a gazebo or whatever at a park.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there weren't very many of us there
Uh,
either. It
was
was
that the
like
first
me and
one?
my roommates, and then you guys, and then
I just remember you were expressing your opinions about like Parks and Rec.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
everything,
yeah.
and I
It
was
was
like,
that
no.
yeah, because I like Parks and Rec better than The Office. That's what it was, huh?
disgusting.
The Office I respect. Parks and Rec.
I like Parks and Rec.
I like the
way
bloopers of
better.
Parks and Rec better than the show.
The stuff that didn't make it to the show.
Oh,
That's good.
come on.
Interesting. That's cool though. That's cool. Well, do you have any questions for us? No, I'm just kidding. No. Okay.
We've known each other for like how long? What, a couple months?
It's been since. Well, that was in September.
Yeah. So a couple means two.
Yeah,
Sorry,
so that was it's a little
throuple.
more than two. A throuple.
A couple.
September, right?
It was September,
That's what
yeah.
you said. Yeah. We moved here at the end of August.
Yeah,
Man, that's a wow.
Yeah.
because the first Sunday I wasn't there. The first Sunday, I don't think. I don't remember, but yeah, more than a couple.
Crazy. And now we're friends.
And
Now you're leaving us.
And now I'm leaving.
So maybe we should start to get in a little bit of that.
Okay.
So you mentioned that you were a teacher, right?
Yes,
You teach fifth graders.
I do.
Do you plan on what inspired you to become a teacher?
That's kind of a loaded question because there's a bit of a long answer, but I'm not going to get into like the whole long answer, but I'll just kind of give like
Do the
sparks.
short, long
Yeah.
answer.
Give
The
us
short, long answer.
give us
That's
as
boring.
much as you want to give us.
Okay, yeah. Well, yeah, it's just long because I was very anti-teaching for a while. I like didn't want to be a teacher at all, and I like had this whole thing. And it was this whole like complex of thinking I was better than other people, I think is what it really got down to.
That makes sense.
Was like yeah. Yikes. No, but I just like it was kind of always in the back of my mind, but I was like, oh, that's like something that I would fall back onto, like to be a teacher if like something else that like me being more successful doesn't pan out, right? Which I like, I say that now and I kind of cringe because I think that's dumb, but yeah, so I really didn't want to be a teacher, and then I just kind of realized I was actually in advertising before I was in elementary education, and I realized that the reason that I wasn't in education was because of what other people thought about education and like the stigma behind teachers, especially elementary teachers, and I didn't want to like fulfill the stereotype, and I didn't want to like be part of the stigma, and so I just like didn't want to be a teacher. But then I kind of like throughout this long process of probably like over a year or two, I like slowly got more self-confidence that I was like, oh, like it actually doesn't really matter that much what other people think about like what I want to do, or it doesn't really matter that much like what other people think about my profession. What matters is like what I think about it and like what it means to me, and if like I really feel like it's what I'm supposed to be doing. And so throughout this long process of kind of like figuring that out, and like there were lots of different experiences with that, but I realized that there's a lot of beauty that comes in like trying to take something really complicated and like hard to understand and simplifying it in a way that a fifth grader or like a first grader, whatever, can understand. And it takes skill. Like it's not this like profession that it's just like, oh, like anyone could do it, right? Yeah. Which is kind of the way that I saw it before. It's just like, oh, like why would I waste my potential, which sounds so stupid now, but like why would I waste my potential to be an elementary school teacher when I could do so much bigger and better things? But like I look at it now and I truly believe that it's a calling, not just a job. And I think it's that way for a lot of teachers because like I don't know if you know, but teachers don't get paid very much.
Facts.
And like there's just kind of a lot of crap that teachers have to go through. And so I think a lot of us agree that it's like it's a calling, and like we're like in it to make a difference and like help influence young minds and kind of take this like complicated thing and make it just take a lot of complicated concepts and like be able to help like kids understand it. And I think it's really cool. And then developing relationships with the kids along the way too, obviously is priceless.
So out of all of that, what's the most fulfilling thing? Like dealing with fifth graders? Because I mean, I don't deal with fifth graders. I coach high school. Yeah. So I don't touch fifth grade. Well, actually I did a little bit this past year. You idiot. Josh, you're an idiot. You're stupid. But you're an idiot too.
What? He hit me! He hit me!
But for me, coaching, the most fulfilling part is I love developing the relationship with them. But the most fulfilling part is seeing them like take what you help them understand and progress and actually do something with it. So for me, the most fulfilling part is watching them progress. But the selfish part of that is like, oh, well, they learned that through me. Yeah. So like for you, if you had to say, this is the number one thing that gives me fulfillment in teaching, what would that be?
I feel like it's something very similar to what you just said, because it's like I call them little glimpses of heaven when like a student figures something out and they have this aha moment. And it's like, oh my gosh, like I totally understand how this works now. And like I can think of like specific instances where this has happened, like specifically in math, because it's a little bit harder to like measure in other subjects. But it's like, oh my gosh, I get it. And like when it clicks and they understand something, or they like make a comment and it like and I can see that they like found something that they like or they're passionate about,
Mm-hmm.
that is what's fulfilling to me. And so it's kind of like, yeah, like the selfish part is like I helped them get there, but it's just it's cool to be a part of that magic.
Interesting. Yeah, teaching is like, or like helping the younger generation is, I think that a line of work is like a calling, I think. And there's only specific individuals that like get it and that like usually make the largest impacts.
Mm-hmm.
For example, in high school, I don't think we had like I don't think we vibed with all of our teachers. You
Yeah.
probably say the same thing.
Oh yeah.
There's like, but you could probably pick one or two where it's like they changed my life.
Mm-hmm.
And so like those kind of people are like almost rare to find in the teaching world. If you're like, there's probably a lot of teachers that give full effort and they're into it, but there's also some scumbags out there, you know what I mean, that just get a little bitter about it. But so I feel like every teacher strives to be the one that develops the relationship with the kids, that wants to be remembered not for selfish reasons, but because that's such an impactful thing that will benefit them for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
That's true. I feel like one teacher came to my mind straight up. It was a choir teacher. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like
Facts.
it's her is why we kind of started this like we love music, and she kind of helped us with it.
Yeah.
She helped us a lot with it. She's actually helping us this Sunday. Crazy.
That's awesome.
But yeah, teachers, I go along with you, both of you. Teachers don't get enough credit as they should, and I respect that. I respect you becoming a teacher. Honestly, it's hard. It is. So Sam mentioned earlier that you said that you're leaving. What
Yes.
is that? What is that about?
Yeah, because you're all comfortable. You just talked about how you're so comfortable. I found what I want to do, right?
Yeah.
And you're like,
Yeah, I figured it out.
so one would think, oh, if you're doing it here and like you have the kids that you have the relationship with and all this stuff, why are you leaving?
Yeah.
And so give us the story. What are you doing?
Yeah, so in like a month I am moving to Virginia, 2,300 miles away from where we are now.
Is it actually
2,300?
2,300 miles. Yeah, if you put it
300.
into
Holy
Google Maps, that's what
moly.
it says. Put a lot of miles on my car this summer, but that's okay. But yeah, and it's kind of interesting how it like kind of just all fell into place. But basically, so I have this thing with public transportation. I love public transportation, and I one day was on a train going up to Salt Lake, and I was talking to my sister about how much I love public transportation. She's like, if you love it so much, you should move to a big city. And like DC or Houston or San Francisco or something. And I was like, oh, haha. But when she said that, I was like, wait, I have a couple friends that live in Washington, D.C. and teach there. So I was like, that's interesting. Maybe I should ask that. Like, I had never thought about it before. Like, I had actually decided, like, a couple weeks before this happened that I was going to stay in Utah. Like, I was kind of going back and forth on it. And especially, like, I even just read a journal entry of mine from January. And I was like, I'm trying to figure out, like, what to do. Like, because I want to do what's best. Like, I don't want to go too far out of my comfort zone, right? That I'm like lost and like I'm like a scared little puppy. But I also like don't want to be too comfortable, right? And so there was like kind of this trying to figure this out. And then in the midst of that, right, I start I like talked to my friend who was in DC, and she told me like about her experiences with teaching. And I realized that like there were a couple things that I really wanted and like out of a teaching experience, and I just wasn't quite like getting that here. And I also just like feel like I want, like, now that I've graduated college, it kind of feels like I want something to like show myself and to show like to signify that like I'm moving on from college. Does that make sense? Like
Yeah.
to like kind of cement like my professional life, right? Now that I'm like out of college and like the big girl job, right?
Yeah.
And it just kind of all fell into place that way. Like I talked to my friend, and then and I felt really good about it, prayed about it a lot, and decided to go forward with like the application while I was still applying for jobs here in Utah too. And I just felt a lot better about the ones I was getting in, the offers I was getting in Virginia. So I took a job there, and I felt really good about it. I still feel really good about it, but yeah. So that's kind of how it all happened.
So how uncomfortable is it for you to make such a shift? You said you feel good.
Yeah. Like I feel good about the decision, but that doesn't mean that like
Are you
it's a
nervous?
comfortable. Absolutely. Are you kidding me? Yeah. Yeah.
So how
Yep.
do you so paint the picture one more time. You feel like it's the right decision,
Yeah.
but there's a level of discomfort.
Yeah.
What is your discomfort?
I mean, the discomfort is in like leaving like the life that I've like made here, like created myself here these past like 4 or 5 years, however long I've lived here. And leaving, and then I mean like on a really like technical level, like leaving the curriculum that I'm used to teaching, because it's a different curriculum out there too. Like there's a lot of just and also just like it's 2,300 miles away. You know what I mean? Like it's far. It's not just like even like the next state over. Like and it's interesting because I felt really good about this about the decision. Maybe like 2 weeks after, like I was like, oh my gosh, I had this like existential crisis, and I'm like, what am I doing with my life? Like the newness kind of wore off, and I was like, did I just do this because I'm crazy? Like what am I doing? So yeah. So like I've kind of had to come to terms with it being like this crazy like thing, but like I keep going back to like I know that I felt good about it, and I have to like trust that feeling, and like the conversations I had with God about it. Like I just have to trust that, because like the closer it gets, I'm like a little bit more nervous. Yeah, no, a lot bit more nervous. The closer it gets, because then like. Yeah, it feels more real. And it's also like I'm in this limbo period now, right? That it's like I'm out of school, but like I haven't moved yet, and so I still have like a month that I'm like here but not working. So there's a lot of time in the day for me to just worry about it.
So you mentally prepared yourself from then to now about the fact that you're moving, but now
Yeah.
that you're in that state of limbo, what are you doing, or what do you plan on doing to mentally prepare for the move or for the change?
There's a few things. I mean, like, so just like the nature of my personality, I'm very much an extrovert, right? So I'm like, and I process through things a lot, like through talking to other people, and like especially talking with my roommates. So like I know that's going to be a really hard thing for me, because I'm going to have like a lot of alone time when I move, because it's just going to be a different environment.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've like kind of done a few things specifically like with that, of like trying, and this might sound silly, but just like trying to get to know myself better, so I'm like more okay with myself, so I can be alone with myself more, you know. And so like I've taken myself on dates, and like just like kind of tried to do these things that will help me prepare to be the person that I rely on, like how I rely on my roommates. And I'll still like rely on people, I'm sure of it, and like I can still call people, and like I know my roommate that I'm going to be living with in Virginia too. But yeah, I feel like that's the biggest thing. Just trying to be okay with myself.
Okay.
Wow.
Being
like
alone.
that.
So you've taken time to that's interesting to think about. Be alone with yourself, kind of, and like develop some sort of self-reliance.
Yeah.
Because you're a social butterfly.
Yeah,
like,
I am.
You're full of energy. You thrive off of other people. This is
Mm-hmm.
this is my perspective. And you'll talk to everybody about anything. And that's cool. And so from my perspective, when you were like, yeah, I'm moving out of here, I was like, what? Like, if I had the same personality and I was like you, I would be crying myself to sleep. And I don't think I'd be able to do that. Just bounce and move on. That's crazy.
Yeah. I know it's going to be hard too. But yeah. Try not to second guess a decision because that's just bad.
No, yeah, definitely. Because for me, I grew up in the same space for like maybe 7-8 years, so that was the image that I painted in my head.
Yeah.
And then we moved to Texas, and then I had to get used to a new crowd. And while I was there making friends in that one school, in the middle of the school year, we moved again, had to get used to a new crowd. And then the moves just kept happening to the point where even when we moved back to Utah, I was at the point where I didn't want to like make close connections because who knew if down the road I was going to end up moving again. And sure enough, I did move in like 4 times in the 4 years I was in high school. But it was for the friends that I made there that I didn't want to make. I was like, okay, I'll give it another year. Then I met Sam, and I was like, okay, I'll give it another year. Then I met these two. And then before you knew, I got stuck in that school, even though we had to drive 40 minutes to get to the school. But then it was to the point where, like, I was like, I don't want to, like, have to leave these people. So I've mostly been, like, closed off, minus, like, these guys. But then part of the reason moving down here, like, despite, like, just making music, doing the podcast and stuff, it was also to, like, help me be more extroverted, you know? Because I spent way too much time with myself to the point where I hated myself. So now I'm here to open up and try to attach to people. While for you is the complete opposite of well, not the complete opposite, but the opposite reason for me. So it's kind of crazy that with all that now applying with what you did going to DC, you want to still be able to love and appreciate yourself while you're there. Right? But as well as like adapting to new environments, right? So with that, what else do you plan to get out? Like obviously you're going there for teaching, but what else do you plan to do while you're there?
Well, I think there's a lot of value in just like learning from people who think differently than you, and I think this was a big thing that like drew me or like made me want to go out there too. Was like I mean, growing up in Kansas, like there were lots of people that thought like a lot like how I did, but there was also kind of some differences. And then like when I was in Brazil, there were like lots of differences, right? Because you have like cultural differences and such, and I just think there's so much value in like learning from people who have different backgrounds and different experiences. And I think part of that too is like learning in a different location, like because I like grew up in the Midwest, right? And then I came out here kind of more further west for school, but I'm like ready for like to learn more, you know? And I like, maybe it's the teacher in me, but it's like really important to me that I'm a lifelong learner. And I think for me, at least in my learning style, I think I learn best through experiences. And like, so that was probably the biggest thing that like pulled me to want to go out there, was like to have these new experiences with people who think differently than me, like in work and just like walking on the street and like, you know what I mean? Just, yeah. I don't know if that answered your question, but
totally. It'll make sense more because that's more of a, I guess, more of like a open city compared to here.
Yeah.
And then obviously
there's a lot more like
different mindset of those people compared to over here.
And just like diversity in general, a lot more religious diversity there, and just
I think
diversity in
that's
general.
such a cool thing. I adopted this philosophy from our drama teacher, actually, about surrounding yourself with people that are smarter than you. Like, if I am in a room with people that are smarter than me, that's an easy way to say people that are different or people that know more about a specific subject. If I'm in a room full of people who know more about producing music, that's where I want to be, because you learn from that. And so that's the importance of going out there and doing something. I think that's probably the biggest thing you're going to get. Is it's going to be weird, different, whatever, but I think you're going to benefit from it because you'll be around, people that are masters at their craft. You're going to be around people that, like you just said, are just so different to the point where like that opens up your mind, and your learning is enhanced, and you're also, I think, will become more understanding of people and their circumstances and their beliefs and everything, because we're products of our environment.
Yeah,
that's so
true.
sick.
I noticed that you mentioned some of the discomforts earlier, but do you have did you or do you have any fears about still have fears about moving?
Yeah. I mean, specifically, let me see if I can think of how to word it specifically. I mean, kind of like how I mentioned, I'm really nervous to be away from my support system, and it was really hard for me moving from Kansas here to lose my support system of home. And I don't think it'll be as big of a change. I don't know, who knows, maybe it will be, but it was really hard for me moving from Kansas is 1,000 miles away, right? Moving 1,000 miles away from home, and being I came here to college all alone. I didn't know my freshman year roommate. I didn't know anyone, right? And it was scary and so hard. I cried every day. But and so I think that definitely scares me. But I also think that looking at that experience and then thinking about this experience that's gonna happen in a month or two, I feel more confident in myself, and so it's still a scary thing because it is definitely outside my comfort zone, but it's because I have more self-confidence, it's easier, not easier, but I feel more confident in it. I feel better about doing it and not crying every day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel honestly, props to you, because honestly, I could never just up and move out across the country from Utah to DC. That's crazy. But I understand. I feel one of the big fear I feel would be the unknown. You don't know what's gonna happen. You don't know. Right now, I feel we're all making adjustments. We said in the first episode, we're all making adjustments in our lives, and it's been crazy. Honestly, for me personally, I've been freaking myself out. I've been scared, but as I've been balancing out my own life, I've seen more miracles happen, and I've been at peace, and I've seen more joy. And it's been crazy, but I truly do believe that God has a plan for each and every one of us, and I feel as we put Him first, everything just falls into place. Sorry, I swear I had a question. My mind just went blank.
That's okay.
Honestly, I heard Washington is very beautiful. Washington, D.C. is very beautiful.
Yeah. Okay. So you said D.C. first. Now you're saying Virginia. I'm really confused.
Yeah. So Virginia,
DC
I'm living in, I'll be living in Virginia. Virginia is right outside, where I'm living in Virginia is right outside D.C. I'm gonna live in Arlington. So
But you're working in D.C.?
No. So I'm working in Falls Church is what it's called. It's in Fairfax, Virginia.
Okay.
So I'll be living and working in Virginia, but
You'll bounce over to DC really often.
yeah, it's like a 15-minute train ride to the Lincoln Memorial. So yeah,
I see.
I can go hang out with Abe all the time.
Do you remember your question?
No.
Okay.
Have you been to DC before?
I have, yeah, twice. So I went when I was in 6th grade, and then just a couple years ago. I went. Yeah.
want to touch on your social life for a second.
Okay.
And how that's influenced this decision and what's happening, because
Yeah.
you're really close to some people,
Mhm.
namely somebody in our live audience who may or may not be conscious right now. There you go. So you're really close to certain people.
Yeah.
You have a lot of friends. You're a social butterfly.
Mm-hmm.
How have those relationships played a role in this decision? Because, and let me give you, I guess, more context. We have friends. We have good friends. Sometimes we have bad friends. Sometimes we have acquaintances.
Yeah.
But no matter who you are in someone's life, you're influenced by what other people say.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter what you say. No matter how much you say, I don't care, what somebody says affects you to some degree, right?
Absolutely.
So
agree.
how have your close relationships helped you prepare for this, or helped you come to terms with it being okay? And have there been any that have hindered this decision, that have been not giving you not positive reinforcement, but maybe telling you, hey, this may not be a great idea?
Yeah. No, it's interesting. I think, honestly, like, I've thought a lot about, like, friendship in general and like, over the past, like, maybe 2 or 3 years. Like, I've thought a lot about what it means to be a friend, and, like, also just, I realized that I had this really hard thing, like, it was really hard for me to let go of friendships. And, like, because I'm so social, I, like, want to be best friends with everyone. And that's, like, literally not possible, right?
Yeah.
And so I feel like I've kind of come to terms, or I'm starting to come to terms with it still, that, like, people come into our life for a reason. But it's also, like, not the end of the world, like, if you don't see that person all the time. You know what I mean? Like, if you, like, get to know someone really well for a month and then, like, you never see them again, they can still make an impact in your life, and you can still, like, have had an impact in their life. And that friendship can still be there. Like, just because you're not talking every day doesn't mean you're not friends, you know? And I think, like, it's kind of hard when, like, things change in friendships and people change, right? And just, like, yeah, I mean, this is a big change, right, that I'm moving, like, 2,300 miles away. But I think what gives me comfort is just, like, knowing and trusting that, like, that we all have our own paths, and they all, like, cross, but they don't all have to overlap. You know what I mean? Like, they're not all together all the time. Like, they cross, and then maybe they'll cross again, and, like, maybe they won't. But, like, it's still valuable. Every connection we have with another human being is valuable, like, no matter how long or short that is.
Facts. That's facts.
Super facts.
I love that. Quote that. Put that on a T-shirt. Put that on it.
I bring that up because
It's gonna be 2 seconds.
I bring that up because I think oftentimes, for example, people who what?
Nothing.
Oh. Every time I talk, they're always doing something and it distracts me. That's what she said. That's what I was going off.
We
over
never
all the
said
time.
that out loud.
Yeah, okay. No. But for example, we all have moms that we're close with, right? And sometimes they want Josh, stop laughing.
I wasn't laughing.
There it is.
Send me the soda, man.
Anyways, we all have moms.
So we all have like moms, for example.
Yeah.
Who,
Sorry, Tony.
Some of them are very vocal.
I still have my mom.
No, but the face you made.
Oh my gosh, Josh.
Sorry.
Sorry, we're cutting Sam off so much. Sorry, this is actually how.
Shoot me and call me carne asada, bro. All right. Take it away, Sam.
Are we good?
Yeah.
We should be.
Done offending Tonu. Don't listen.
It's good. Just continue.
Don't listen to
Can't
him.
believe you said it.
Sorry, Morgan.
That's okay.
We have, like, for our moms, for example, they're very vocal about decisions we make.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or friends. We have friends that are very vocal. And a lot of times they're like, because they don't think that's a good idea, they'll try to influence you not to make that decision.
Yeah.
Have you had anybody like that?
Interesting enough, I don't think so. Like, and maybe there have been people that have kind of like been that way, but like not close enough to me that it would really matter that much to me. You know what I mean? Like the people, like I remember when because I was talking with my sister, right? And she was the one like, maybe you should move to like a big city. And so I talked to her a little bit about it, and like she was really supportive and good about the decision. I was really worried to talk to my dad about it. I like kind of put it off for like a little while because I didn't think he would be super excited about it. But surprisingly, I like told him, and he was like, "Oh, that sounds like perfect for you." It like that honestly, and he like dropped some wisdom on me, and it was like it was a wonderful conversation, right? Of just like he kind of said a similar thing of like it'll be a good opportunity to feel like you're not in college anymore because you're not in college, and that's what I was worried about. Is like I was worried that if I stayed, and I don't think this would always be the case, but I was worried that if I stayed here, like where I am now, but like have a big girl job, that I would be stagnant and not grow as much. And I think like you certainly don't have to make a 2,300 mile move in order to grow, right? Like in order to progress. And that was kind of like what I was going back and forth on in January in this journal entry that I like read recently, that I was like, I don't want to do this just because I'm like, oh, I need to grow. Let me like do something so uncomfortable that it will force me to grow. Like that's not always very healthy, right? And so yeah.
That's crazy. What do you? Are you guys gonna ask a question?
Do you remember where you were?
Do you remember your question? Yeah. Do you remember your question?
I was about to ask. Do you know any like? You said you went to Washington before, Washington D.C. Is there any good food out there?
Oh, bet.
I literally want to. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm hungry right now. I'm gonna be completely honest.
I am
like,
too.
I'm like hungry.
I'm
My stomach's
hungry.
like growling. I'm like, please, no one heard that. No one did. So,
no,
but.
the food. Yeah, I mean, like I'm trying to remember the food that I had. I think it was Thai food that was really good.
Oh,
That I
Thai
had out
food
there.
is
There was some
very
good
well.
Thai food. I love Thai food. And there was like a really good cookie place, like this bakery, Levain Bakery, I think is what it was called.
Ooh.
So good.
I'm a sucker for cookies.
And I remember going to a like burger chain place.
Ooh.
And not being all that impressed. But I'm pretty picky when it comes to burgers, so.
That's true.
Wait. Pause.
Oh yeah.
Don't I know you're just getting
Very picky.
You're very
Very
picky about
picky.
burgers.
If it's not In-N-Out, I won't eat it.
That's not being
I think
picky.
In-N-Out is really good, and I'm picky about burgers. I don't eat any burger.
Okay.
Like I'm not
Fair.
super into like McDonald's or Wendy's or whatever. Like especially like fast food chains. I eat. Well, I mean, like I'm not that picky, right? But like I really like In-N-Out and Freddy's.
Okay,
Freddy's
Freddy's.
is
Respect.
good.
Okay, I'll give
Freddy's
you
is
that.
so good. Do you know where it was founded? Freddy's. Yes.
Big guess, guys. Big guess.
I don't like Freddy's
I
anymore.
don't know.
Wichita, Kansas.
Oh, boy.
Wichita.
So that's a biased opinion.
Oh my gosh, Wichita, Kansas.
What are you looking forward to the most? What is like? Because you're to put in light in the theme of the podcast, right? This episode is you're explaining the process of stepping outside your comfort zone, and becoming comfortable with the uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So, through all the discomfort and everything you shared, what's the number one thing you look forward to the most? And if it's food, that's cool. But like, what are you most excited for?
Yeah, I think I think I'm just really excited to like have my own experience. Like I don't really know how to put this into words, but I'm just like I'm excited because like this is like my thing. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't want to sound like vain or whatever. Like I know like that this decision like I made like with God and other people helped me make the decision too, but it just like it's this thing of like this is like me moving to Virginia because I chose it. And like I kind of had an element of that when I moved out here, but it was just kind of like I like always knew I was going to come out to Utah. Like I always knew that I wanted to attend the school that I went to, and like that was just kind of always the plan. And I have family out here too, up in Ogden, just like an hour away. So so I think I'm just most excited to like have like to do this for me, you know what I mean? Like to have this experience that's like mine. And I know it's going to be really hard, but it's like I chose to go out there and do this, and it's like
That's empowering.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And I'm also excited for people to come visit me, and for me to be able to like be like, this is my decision, like this is my place that I chose to live, and like
look
how
at
awesome
what
it
I
is.
built.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's so sick.
Honestly, I feel like we can relate. That's what we're trying to do. That's what we're doing now, actually. That's what we're doing.
Granted, we didn't move across country.
We didn't move across the country, but we
moved
did.
across for
The
30
valley.
minutes.
The valley.
The valley. We went across the valley.
It was crazy. Like, honestly, us moving out here, can't honestly fully relate, but we're building something.
Yeah.
We're building Last Note. We're building a lot. It's crazy, but we're doing it, boys. We're doing it.
We're all 5 of us in this room, in this episode, are
Yeah.
doing it.
All right, Morgan. So throughout this whole podcast, you gave a lot of great advice. You shared your own experience about being comfortable and the right uncomfortable. And before we were wrapping it up, what last advice, since our last note, what's the last advice you would give to someone that's kind of going through the uncomfortable?
There's weight to that question, because I think there's people, maybe us, who are terrified of stepping outside their comfort zone. That's probably why most people don't do what they want to do.
Yeah.
Because
it's scary.
fear runs
It's
their life.
fear.
They don't want to step outside their bubble that they created.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So what's your advice? What would you say to those people?
I think I think there's a lot of value in discomfort, because that's where growth comes in a lot. And I think there's also like there's a lot of like I feel like it's kind of this range of like, because I think sometimes we think of this like comfort zone, like, oh, you need to step out of your comfort zone as like, oh, I need to like do these crazy things in order to progress. And I don't think that's true. Like, I think you can do things like within your growth zone, which is just like a little bit outside of your comfort zone, that allows you to progress and to like reach your full potential and to be who you're meant to be. And I think that is where we need to work, right? Like in this growth zone. So it's not like total discomfort, which is like kind of like further outside of the comfort zone, right? It's not total discomfort, but it's growth. And so it's like just enough discomfort to know that like you will grow and progress, and have to rely on other people, have to rely on God in order to get through whatever you're getting through. And I think there are different ways that you can facilitate that in your own life without like making a huge change, like moving. But you can make small changes that push you a little bit outside of your comfort zone, but still within that growth zone to be able to learn and progress.
I love that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Was any other words?
Ah, that's an amen from me.
Amen. Amen. Hallelujah. All right, boys. Before we finish it up, we like to do this with a lot of our guests. We like to go into one of our favorite segments.
Segment what?
Y'all already know what it is. It's Would You Rather? Oh my gosh, boys,
Featuring Morgan.
Yeah, featuring Morgan. Welcome to your
She didn't cheer at all.
Woo. No, I said a woo. There was a woo for me. Oh, cool. Yeah, awesome.
But
Let's go.
anyways, we have
Oh, there's a World Cup and everything.
Would You Rather questions.
Dang, that sticky note went through hell.
Oh, it definitely did. It definitely did.
What'd you do to it?
Don't worry about it. So, Morgan, would you like to do the honors and pick one of the Would You
I
Rather
get to pick
questions?
one?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, don't trip over everything. Yeah, there you go.
Pick one, not two. People like to pick three sometimes, but it's okay.
I just get one. Okay.
Who are you looking at, me or him?
I don't know. Who to? It's just that.
I was looking at the
general
do
direction.
rag.
All right,
Okay.
go ahead.
Would you rather have 1 million loyal friends or $1 million?
Would you have 1 million loyal friends or $1 million?
Yeah.
What's your answer?
Throw it back at you.
If you need to think, you could think.
I don't know.
Look,
I think it's hard.
friends
'cause
or
it's
loyal
like,
friends?
Loyal, so
Maybe we should workshop
it's
this.
1 million loyal
you
friends.
have to loop
or
on the
$1 million,
loopholes, right?
Yes.
Okay, so,
Yeah.
So the necessity for 1 million loyal friends is absurd. That you don't need that.
Yeah, you don't need that many loyal friends.
have-
Like
You
I
need
can
$1
have
million?
like I can have 4 loyal friends and $1 million.
Look, see,
And
exactly.
and fulfill.
Exactly. I was about to say, I got 3 loyal friends right here. That's all I need.
Yeah.
$1 million doesn't really come out.
Cause
of it.
it's like 1 million loyal friends. Like, what are you gonna do with all those friends?
And then I can-
Because I feel like it's almost like
Go ahead.
like it's almost overwhelming because if you have 1 million loyal friends and it feels like you have to split yourself into 1 million pieces to be loyal back to all those friends. So I would say
Whoa, okay.
$1 million.
That'll put us
Hey.
friends.
Like, you know, like, I mean, figuratively, obviously, like that, like, because I feel like you divide your attention between the people that you're closest to, right? So like if I am closest to 1 million people, then I'm gonna feel like I have to keep 1 million relationships up, and it kind of goes back to like what I was talking about, like about friendships. I don't want to have to keep up 1 million friendships.
Yeah, that'd be rough.
That's a lot of keeping up.
Yeah, you'd have to contribute to 1 million different relationships.
Yeah, so I'd much rather just take $1 million.
Yeah.
Like, forget the job.
Man, she shut me down. I was like gonna say something real good, but I guess not. You
can say it anyways.
Yeah, you could say it anyways.
I was thinking about it. Like, if you had 1 million friends, I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, well, you explained it. I'm not gonna lie. I don't like my answer anymore. But you said like 1 million friends. For me, I would say 1 million friends because you ask each friend to give you $1. $1 million, give them $2. But like you said, that's true. You have to keep up with each relationship. I'm not gonna lie.
He's
it's
thinking
hard.
of the quantity.
Here's the thing too.
He's thinking about the money.
I
You
actually have
about it.
something to add to that.
It ain't
Because
about the money.
everyone always says it's not what you know, it's
It's
who you know.
See,
That's
I was
true.
gonna say that too. Like,
so if you have 1 million friends, like maybe it is like worth more than $1 million.
no, most definitely. It's like, what if you go like, you know, not across the country, but like, you know, around the world, and you still have friends over there, like you hook you up with like food, places.
Yeah,
You feel
like where? Oh my gosh,
Exactly.
yeah,
You
free
feel
housing.
me? You feel
You
me?
can travel anywhere in the world.
That's
1
true,
million
but
friends,
look,
but
but
like
look.
it's gonna be draining.
So yeah, okay, so that's that.
Yeah.
But let's go deeper, right? $1 million could be reinvested, right? So think about this: reinvested to create generational wealth for your future family. Loyal friends will not always be on this earth,
That's true.
Gosh dang it.
but money will always be around on this earth.
But it depends on like what I don't know, because it's like there are like what are the stipulations with these friends? Like what ages are they? What like all of these different things, cuz like I have like really close family friends that I'm like I don't know, that like financially they're doing all right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's like I don't know.
But
that, like,
back to what
they
you
can
said,
help.
though. You could what I like to call mooch off of people, right?
Right, yeah.
Right, but-
I'm a professional moocher, actually.
But when it's
It's
all
a
said
gift.
and done, what have you built? A whole bunch of relationships. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Which is valuable.
It's valuable. But what have you done as an individual if you're relying on all those friends all the time? Just something to think about. It's possible.
No, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's true
That's
though. You could, for lack of better terms, use your loyal friends to get all these benefits and all these amazing things, and maybe make $1 million with one of them.
Yeah.
You could, so I can see the benefit of it. But man, we
it's
struggle.
like
We struggle to maintain 5 friends.
But this like $1 million, like
Facts.
you didn't earn it. Like it just like popped up.
I know, but it's also it gives you the necessary funding and necessary like
Oh, to build
financial
your own
cushion
thing, to do your
to
own
build
thing.
something.
That's fair. Okay.
Dang. So
But I think you can build with other people.
You can't, and I'm just saying.
Let other people
I think
help you
having
build.
$1 million gives less people to worry about.
Can you imagine memorizing like all that million
A
names?
million names.
Aaron,
Yeah,
Jacob,
dude.
You'd be like Aaron
Sean,
number 3, 4, and
James,
7.
Hammond,
Yeah, because if you have a
Jamie.
million loyal friends,
Zachary.
there's repeat names. You already know those repeat names.
Zach 1, Zach 2, Zach
Yeah.
3, Zach 4, Jacob.
Mbaku.
Mbaki.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me there is just, yeah, friendships aren't one-sided, right?
That's true.
It's like totally two-sided, and so
Facts.
like
Yeah.
a million. That's a lot to
I don't
keep
even,
up with.
You'd be spending your time trying to maintain relationships other than pursuing other things in life.
Yeah.
So
So maybe it
I'm
would
taking
be
the
worth
money.
it.
So final answers, everybody. Money,
I'm taking the money.
Money.
money,
Give me the money.
money,
Probably money, yeah.
money. It's
Screw
crazy.
friend.
Dang. All
I
right.
don't need loyal friends.
Wait, are
Man.
you taking the money? Is that what you said?
No, he's
What are you
avoiding the
taking?
question. He always
Yeah,
is.
He always avoids the question.
This is my segment. Leave me alone.
I don't give a care. It's our podcast, and democracy rules.
Yeah, I don't give a care.
I don't give a care. It's good catch. So one more would you rather question or?
What's your answer?
Yeah, you guys say your answer, dude.
I'm torn between two because you guys, all of you make.
Just say money and we can move on.
All right, money. Move
All right.
on.
All right, bet. There you go.
Do you want
You
to
out here not
No.
wanting to make a decision,
Peer
bro.
pressure. It's fine.
It's pronounced
We can sit here and wait.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. The podcast needs to go.
Peer pressure.
All right, one more would you rather
Let's do
question.
one
Who wants to
more.
do the honors?
Grab another one. Okay.
Just have her pick another one.
Go ahead.
You want me to
Go
pick
ahead.
another
Go
one?
ahead.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
One more.
Wow!
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Would you rather have telekinesis or telepathy?
Huh?
So that's like move things, like move
Move
things with
things
your
your
mind,
mind or read other
or
people's
read
minds.
other people's minds.
Oh.
Definitely move things with my mind. I don't want to know what other people are thinking.
Yeah, same. I can do so many pranks with that.
If I
With-
can move
with-
myself.
Telekinesis.
Yeah, so that's basically the Force, right?
Yeah.
So, but I'd rather read people's minds.
It's too much of a
I can.
burden, I think,
Yeah.
to read people's minds. I don't want to like because
Yeah,
you
but
can't turn it
can
off.
Switch it on and off.
Can you?
Can you? Is it in the
If
instructions?
it's a okay, so then if that's the case,
'Cause if
are
you
you just
can switch
randomly
it-
moving stuff and not being able to control it?
Imagine like
Okay,
you're just
you're
sitting there, like everything's fine. You're like,
Yeah,
wait,
you're like,
wait,
well,
wait,
I can't do anything, and then you end up dropping a building on like a million people.
Think about it.
All right, Val.
Okay,
turn
I
it
mean,
around.
like,
I take
like
it
if
back.
you can turn it
I
on
take
and
back.
He has a
off.
good point. He has a good point.
I still stick with
I
telekinesis.
just feel like, wouldn't it feel like, I don't, this is like a moral dilemma for me because it's like if I can read their mind but they can't read my mind, that doesn't feel fair.
No,
Life ain't fair, Morgan.
that's fair.
Like because the communication can't be perfect, like
So yeah, what would
The
be your
communication
purpose of
can't be
reading other
perfect.
people's minds? That's the question.
to be able to
answer.
understand other people, probably.
Okay, to understand other people. So then, is that invasion of privacy?
I'd say so.
Ooh,
Obviously.
Yeah, most
Yeah,
definitely. Most
absolutely.
definitely.
Invasion of
Most
privacy.
Absolutely.
Oh, most definitely.
Especially if you have control to turn it on and off. That's absolutely.
But that's take morals out of the equation, right? You can manipulate people to the point where you get whatever you want, whenever you want, however you want.
If you're, yeah, that's
Dang.
that's
I just-
As you can
crazy.
see, for those of you who
It
are
seems
listening,
silly to take
Sam
morals
loves to
out.
manipulate.
Can you like pickpocket without pickpocketing? But
Yeah, I
you
used to
could.
do
You could. So if morals are in play, I'm gonna pick the moving stuff.
But if morals are not in play,
Oh, I'm reading minds.
You can't just
got
take
morals.
morals out of the equation.
Well, okay, so heartless people can.
I mean, okay.
But look at this. Reading people's minds. Yes, you might find information that you probably shouldn't know, or whatever the case may be. But
However-
what parts of the brain can you read?
I don't know. Well, and the thing
it's
is,
like, wow, you're
what if-
hungry.
well,
wow, you're hungry too.
what if also like you're like in the police force, right? You can read their minds, so you know exactly if they did it or not. That could solve a lot of like crime, right?
It could, yeah.
And so in that way it could be helpful and useful, right? Because like that's like a time when it's like considered morally okay to invade other people's privacy, right? I would say with crime that like it's like I don't know. You know
That
what I
makes
mean?
sense. So it could be used for good.
Yeah.
But also it's like what type of thoughts are you reading? You know what I mean? Can
Yeah.
you choose? Can you go into someone's like subconscious and choose what you want to read? Almost
Yeah.
like you're scrolling in a computer and all these folders and files and picking whatever you want, or are you just reading what's
What's
naturally
just like
going?
currently there, yeah.
So that's the question
That's
too.
You just
true.
lose your mind after that. You're like, well, that's a lot.
Because if I can filter if I can filter what parts of the mind I can read, I might choose that, because then I could make sure I don't overstep and invade someone's privacy in a specific way. But I can understand, simple dumb things like, they're hungry. I'll be like, yo, you want to get some food? They'd be like, yeah, all right, bet.
It's like, you read my mind.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I did.
It's like, you read my mind. It's like, oh, really? Turn off.
And then you could then help people solve crime. You could be like,
Yeah.
I think you're feeling this way, like you're thinking this. So let's talk about it. Imagine, to get on a really deep note. Sorry, but like people who are willing to, hurt themselves because they don't feel good mentally. Imagine how many lives you could save.
That's true. Yeah, because it's really hard to tell.
Yeah.
People can hide it really well.
But then you cross the line of, are you taking away people's agency?
That's true.
Their ability to choose.
Their ability to choose, yeah.
Nah, so you know how, sorry, this is like dark, but you know how when people die, the brain stays on for a little bit? Or, you know how crazy that would be to read their mind before they,
like their literal last thought.
Yeah, you know how crazy that would be?
That would be terrifying.
I would be terrified. Yeah, that definitely would.
I might manipulate things with my hands.
Yeah.
Mind. Sorry, not my hands. My mind.
Wait a second.
Sorry, I'm thinking of the force. I'm thinking of the force or something.
So, what would y'all choose? Final.
I literally just said, don't point at me.
Mine.
I already said it.
Jumbo, what'd you say?
Everyone said it.
What'd you say?
Move things with my hands.
Wait, what did you say, Tana?
Mind.
Mind?
Wait.
Read your mind.
They're both minds.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so is it telekinesis or telepathy?
You found the loophole.
I don't know the difference.
You can move it with your hand.
Well, I don't know what
or you can read their mind.
Telekinesis is like
It's a mind
moving
thing, but
things
you
with
move
your
objects.
Oh, well then telekinesis.
mind. Okay.
All right, bet. What'd you choose?
I choose telekinesis because it's way too much of a burden to have telepathy.
That's facts.
Dang.
It's like trying to maintain 1 million relationships.
Yeah. I'm just taking the easy route on all these.
That's all right.
Understood. Well,
Least amount of emotional damage. Sorry.
You can rob a
Go
bank,
ahead.
though. You can rob a bank. Ripping the door off.
dude, imagine like all the cops come just like, oh yeah?
Yeah. Could be bad.
Yeah.
I'm still choosing it.
Crazy. Well, that wraps it up for us. For all you listeners, thank you so much for listening. Morgan, thank you so much for being here as our guest.
course.
Thank you so much.
Final words? Anything to anyone who's listening?
Any plugins you want to put?
Anything you want to
Plug
say?
in.
Quotas.
I don't really think so. I think maybe just realize the impact that teachers can have on your own life, and maybe think about like a teacher that and teachers come in all forms, right? But like a teacher that has made an impact on you and why. That's it.
I like it.
Just something to sit with, chew on.
Thank you. Well, boys, y'all know what time it is.
It is 10 o'clock.
Dang,
Wow.
it's 10 o'clock. We did it, boys.
Exactly.
We did it. Wow.
No,
Wow.
not exactly.
We did it, man. Yeah. Josh, do it.
All right, Sam, please drop that needle for me.
Yeah. Yeah, focus right. You know I gotta get it right every night. Eat some fries with a shake. My mistake.
What?
I know we ain't going in and out right now.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm hungry.
I am too.
I'm hungry.
Okay, let's wrap this up.
All right,
All
wrapping
right,
this up.
Sam, drop the beat, please, so Tubo can go eat.
Dude, let's go get some to eat. Let's go.
Okay.
Y'all hungry?
Medium. I'm medium.
Medium
What the
rare.
hell does that mean?
All right,
I'm medium
boys,
hungry.
see you later, guys.
Look, hey.
Remember, Tonu, can you get it?
Tony.
Keep the mind on and peace out. Was it right?
No!
No, that was dog water.
All right, go ahead, Satch. What do you say?
Keep that peace of mind.
And keep on. All right, see you guys.
All right, then, y'all. Love y'all. Deuces. See y'all next week.
Nicely done.